All right. Hi, Tom Conerly. Where are you from and how long have you lived in Orange Beach?
Well, that's a great question, Lauren. And thank you for doing this, by the way. I think this is very important for our people here in the community that are our voters and our residents. I'm from a lot of places. I'm 30 plus years retired from the U.S. Army. I served in all three components, National Guard, U.S. Army Reserves, and active duty, and deployed with all three components. So vast experience there. My primary home of record for the most part was in Mississippi. Bought here in 2009, moved here permanently in 2015. And so we've been here for 10 years. My in-laws have been here for 30 years, I guess. So very familiar with the area.
Okay. And what position are you running for?
I am running for Orange Beach City Council, Place 1.
All right. So for city vision and priorities, what are your top 3 priorities if elected, and how do you plan to accomplish them?
You know, I have more than 3 priorities, but top 3, it's hard to pick when you have so many. But you know, let's focus on a few things. One is to protect and preserve the brand that Orange Beach has worked so hard to obtain, and that's the family-friendly community. We've got to continue to do that. We do not want to become some of our neighbors that have lost that vision. Number 2, I really want to see us increase incentives and rewards for our dedicated employees here. These are the people that have boots on the ground, Army speak, that are making the city what it is: safe, secure, clean, vibrant, the whole 9 yards. Let's increase incentives, or make sure that we maximize the incentives to make sure we recruit and retain quality, good employees. For those that have dedicated decades of their life to those things that I just said, let's reward them some. I know there's a study underway right now to looking into providing health insurance past retirement. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful idea. I think it's much needed. Those are 2. The third one is I really want to see us continue to expand the multimodal pathway system. We've got to get that done. So within reason, we have some restrictions, but let's get that done so that we keep our pedestrians and our bicyclists and our golf cart drivers safe. Let's get them off our major pathways and get them onto something that's much more safe.
Yeah. And what is your long-term vision for our city over the next 5 to 10 years?
You know, I think let's keep doing what we're doing right now as far as providing the amenities that we have. You can look north, east, west, not too much south, not much out there but water, but let's keep providing those amenities that enhance our quality of life here. And I think down the road, that's what we need to continue to focus on. 10 years, a little bit harder, but we do have to control growth within reason, what we can do. It's inevitable. It's much more complicated than many people think, but there are things we can do to control it and slow it down. Let's do that.
And that kind of segues into our next one about how will you balance growth and development?
Yes, and so one of the things you can do is, much like the city's doing right now, there's a 9-month moratorium on for multifamily residences and things. Slowing that down so that we can do the proper assessment and analysis to make sure that we're providing for that growth and it's in the right way. The laws and rights of ownership play into all of that. So it's a fairly complicated process, but let's navigate that. Let's do everything we can to slow it down.
All right. For budgets and taxes, how do you plan to handle the city budget and prioritize spending?
Well, you know that we have there's strict requirements about how the city spends money. And what we can do it, the way you can, and how much you can give. So it's to be fully transparent. We need to make sure that our residents fully understand how the budget is how we get the money, how we spend the money.
How do you support raising, lowering, or keeping taxes the same?
I do not support raising taxes. I don't think anybody does. Maybe some, but obviously not raising taxes. If we have to keep them the same to keep our quality of life, let's keep them the same. If we have the opportunity to lower taxes because we have different revenue sources coming in, sustainable revenue sources, absolutely, let's do it.
And what specific services or programs would you protect from budget cuts, even during a downturn?
Anything that has to do with safety, security, or cleanliness, absolutely. And our school system. I think we need to keep maintaining our school system and supporting that.
How do you plan to involve the community in decisions about new developments and zoning changes?
By using every available tool we can. And I think particularly we can do more with social media as far as involving the community, providing feedback. Actually, there's mechanisms out there, and I've thought about using it now, but providing polls that through like the Facebook polls that you can do and give people a chance to say yes, no, maybe, and other ideas.
All right. For education and youth, how will you support our city schools and ensure all children, even those included with special needs and disabilities, have access to quality education?
Well, we're required by law to do that anyway. Fortunately, I have a very good resource. My wife, who was also spent 26 years in the military, Guard, reserves, and active duty, but she also has a significant background in education, and she was a guidance counselor for middle school for 20-something years. And she's very familiar with the needs for these special needs folks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And what role should the city play in supporting youth programs and after-school opportunities?
We need to continue to support after-school activities and programs for our youth. Absolutely. Much like the Expect Excellence program, which I think is super. And if there's things we need to do, expand that, let's do it. Youth is the future of our city, so let's do it.
Yeah. For transportation and infrastructure, what is your plan to improve roads and pedestrian safety?
Well, I think I've already covered that. And, the multimodal pathway is the way to do that. And that absolutely. Now, another thing, maybe we can lobby the ALDOT for the beach highway for the flashing yellow yield signs that, just like they have in Florida, why don't we have those out there? Not saying that's a silver bullet, but at least it's something that we can do and ALDOT can do to help protect our pedestrians out there.
Oh. And how will you ensure equitable infrastructure investment across all neighborhoods?
Another good question. All of our neighborhoods, of course, the city grew in different phases, if you will. The neighborhoods came into effect at different times. Standards, codes, and all of that have changed since that. So our newer neighborhoods have a much better infrastructure, if you will, to support them. So each neighborhood is going to have a different need. Let's look at those, analyze them, and bring them up to the same standard.
Mm-hmm. For transparency and community involvement, how will you ensure transparency and accountability in city government?
Well, I'm as transparent as you can get, and I'm as accountable as you can get. So I will ensure to the best of my ability to be as transparent. We shouldn't be guessing what's being built down the street from us. I've seen it over and over. We should not be guessing that. People should know up front what's being built in their neighborhood or next to their neighborhood or on the way to their neighborhood. So I'm definitely for that.
And how do you plan to keep residents informed and involved in local decision making?
By being open, honest, and with a listening more than I speak.
Yeah.
We got 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be open and honest with you. And if you have ideas, please bring them forward.
Mm-hmm. For equity and inclusion, how do you plan to make the city more inclusive and accessible for people with disabilities, seniors, and other often overlooked groups?
Well, this touches close to home. My brother is wheelchair bound. He's in a nursing home. And I have many veteran friends who are disabled, senior citizens. Obviously, we are required by law to make sure that this happens for any city properties, obviously. If there are things that are not being done, I need to know about it because I will be an advocate for those that are disabled.
All right. For candidate accountability, who do you see yourself accountable to?
I'm accountable to the citizens of Orange Beach. That's why I'm running. I'm not running for Tom Conerly. I'm running for my fellow neighbors and my fellow residents here. This is our home. I mean, I'm accountable to you.
All right, last two. Have you ever changed your position on a major issue? Why and what did you learn?
I absolutely have. And it was a great learning experience. When new information came to light that was relevant to the problem at hand, it changed the whole outcome. And so obviously, we're going to do the right thing. I use what's called the military decision-making process when I review these things, but you can always get new information. And being a military intelligence officer, we always get new information that might change the course of the mission or actions, what we call actions on the objective. But at any rate, yeah, absolutely. If new information comes that changes the potential outcome, especially for the better, let's do it. Let's hear it.
All right. And finally, what sets you apart from other candidates running?
You know, that's a hard one. I don't know all the candidates that are running. I don't know everything about them. I have an extensive military background, 30 plus years, as I said. I retired as a full bird colonel. I've had multiple overseas deployments. I've been in like 47 different countries around the world. I've seen every social economic level you can imagine. I also have a significant civilian experience for when I was in the National Guard and the Reserves as a traditional member, working with state and federal government. So particularly in disasters, I was deputy director of military support to civilian authorities in Mississippi, that's coordinating all of the military assets to help respond to disasters. So I've got a lot of experience with all of that. And anybody that wants to check out my experience, I'm publishing it now on my Elect Tom Conerly Facebook page. Certainly, please go look, see what I'm putting out there. I just wanted you to know me better.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom Conerly, for your time.
Thank you, Lauren.